news, even when it seems like there's a lot of bad news. But my guest tonight is going to share some amazing news because I've known Cici Bordeo now for almost 7 months, and she is so positive. Cici Bordeo from the Pass It On organization. Cici, welcome. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be part of this.
Cici, tell us a little bit about the Pass It Forward or Pass It On organization.
So, Pass It On is an upcoming community center based on the north side of Lansing. We provide a space for children and youth to come create, develop, and become community cultivators. We really want to utilize this space to invest in the next generation so that they can go on in the future and continue just spreading just kindness, investment, you name it. We want to empower the next generation. So we are providing a space for the next generation to do so.
So where is the space at, Cici? And tell me some of the things that happen inside that space.
So it's on the north side, right next to Cristo Rey Center, which I think is so interesting. For me, I grew up on the north side since I was 3 years old, attending a local church. I love the north side. I love the people, the culture over here. So right next to Cristo Rey, and honestly, it's kind of one of those things where when we had this vision and idea to create this space, we're like, wow, we can really revitalize the north side. And some of the programs that we are going to be doing to invest in the next generation is doing culinary arts, teaching kids how to eat healthy and to become chefs in the future. Having a Mac lab so kids can learn to do graphic design or become architects, things you just wouldn't learn in school. So we are kind of trying to think outside the box and figure out what kids are interested in, but also what their talents and their strengths are, and taking that and helping them develop that so they can in turn become who they want to be.
I absolutely love this. This is so cool. And this is happening on Lansing's north side. And this is a free program, right?
Free program for the kids. We are working very hard. With the quarantine, it's put us behind a little bit because we were just in the beginning process of our fundraising. But we are just, honestly, we're just so grateful. Yesterday, Prusa's Pet donated $500 to our organization. And so we have a lot of faith. We just believe in Lansing and the community. And if we're behind a little bit, we're okay. We just know that this is going to be a state-of-the-art building for the next generation to come to, and we're willing to wait for it.
I know as soon as this crisis is over, you will be in operation and you will be set inviting kids to come in and learning all those skills like graphic design and cooking. And Cici, why do you spend your time putting this together?
Really, if I look back over my life, whether it was through the Lansing School District, teachers, coaches, mentors, the local church that I still attend to, as I look back over my own personal life, there was always the one person or one group that just poured into me, invested in me, and had a lot to do of making Cici who she is today. And so I give a lot of credit to the people that I surrounded myself with and was willing to listen to. And so for me to be able to give back to the community the way that the community gave to me, this city, it's really rewarding. And I want to make sure that people know too that this isn't just a Cici thing. This is people with passion and vision and creative ideas saying, hey, let's work together, network, and figure out ways to invest in the next generation because they are our future. And so to be able to do this, it's very, very rewarding for me to be able to lead the vision of this idea.
Well, I'm so proud of you, Cici, and what you're doing. And from the moment I met you, I knew that you were a mover and a shaker, and you're making a difference in the community. And you have a story that's an incredible story of where you come from. And I'm just so appreciative of everything that you're doing.
Well, thank you. Like I said, I would not be here if it had not been for people who took time to invest in the CC that was not I grew up in a dysfunctional home with sexual abuse. I moved around in over 17 different addresses here in the city alone. And so to have people come and say, to love me through and work alongside me to say, hey, you are not the product of your past. You can become more, and you can turn the page of your story and the chapter of your story. And so that is something that I find that I get to have that same opportunity and help others turn the page and help them recognize wherever they come from that their future is in their hands. And so, but thank you. I greatly appreciate it. It's people like you too that are making a difference in the community. It's better together. So thank you so much.
So CC, what's happening now, because we are under quarantine, we can't leave our homes, or we're not supposed to leave our homes.
Yeah.
But if people want to become involved, maybe they want to volunteer, maybe they want to donate, what's the best thing that they can do? Or even maybe just learn more about Pass It On. What can they do?
I would say first off, get in touch with us, message us. People are always messaging us and saying, how can they help? And sometimes it's day to day, it's different. A few weeks ago, it was, we're doing fundraising. We need money, but there's so much more than just money. This last few weeks, particularly with the quarantine, we actually have been messaged quite often from families that actually are in need. And so I partnered with Maranatha Church. Tomorrow we're partnering with Remarkable, a group that is actually taking care of kids whose parents are doctors or nurses that have to go to work. So there's no childcare for them. So we're buying food for them tomorrow. But we've actually, Cantina reached out to us, Mexican restaurant, when they were closing, and said, hey, we don't want all this produce and food to go to waste. Can you help us, spread it out? And we were able to feed almost 50 families. So sometimes it's just like if people can donate food, day to day. Sometimes it's just like, does anybody have any, I think yesterday someone had asked for a printer for their kids because they didn't have one. So it's just different every day. So I would say message us, get in touch with us, and we would love to either partner or network or help, our community in the best way that we can.
I know we put your Facebook page up there, which is the best way to get a hold of you through the Facebook. Talk about, real quick while we end, talk about the need, CC, because you see the need.
Not everyone is fortunate to have, the simple basics of food. And so that's, and I'm very proud that our community, Great Atlantic Food, I watched, your video the other day too, and I'm doing an incredible job. I would say the greatest need is helping families have the basic necessities, which is food, water. Some families don't have anything to teach their children, or they don't have, iPads or computers. So sometimes just dropping off notebooks in crossword puzzles or, workbooks, things like that. Those are basic things that, maybe where I have easy access to go and to grab. So those are some things. We have, different needs all the time. And there's families that are like, desperate. One organization we just recently helped, and I want to say it was a local, I don't remember if it was Haven House, but they were mothers who needed milk for their babies. And so sometimes just, putting out a message saying, hey, can anyone donate an extra, jug of milk? So it's different every day, but the needs are there. They're very real. There are families that are really struggling. And together we can help these families by providing, even if it's one thing, one item, but we can help our community by doing so.
So I want to end on a good story. CC, you've seen so many children at your center already. Yeah. Tell me something good. Tell me a good story.
Good story. Well, right now what's kind of good for us is we have this competition going. So the week before we me personally, knowing that there was going to be families that were struggling, or maybe they just needed some, joy, just something just to, it's hard being home and we're all out of our comfort zone and there's been a big change. So we kind of ran this family competition or challenge, if you will, where we encourage families to take pictures of themselves coming up with like a different day. So like it was a puzzle day or make a fort day, and they would send in their picture, and then we would draw a name and send them free dinner on us from a local restaurant. And so we were trying to help local restaurants, but at the same time help local families. So that was one challenge. Currently, right now, we're doing a challenge for local artists. There's a lot of local artists, creatives that were put out of work because of cancellation, events that were canceled. So we had a challenge go where we're giving $100 to 3 different winners. And so right now we have the top 5 votings going on right now until tomorrow at 5 o'clock. All 5 contestants are on our page, and you can go and see what talent is out there in Lansing. And tomorrow we're going to announce 3 winners, and we're going to give them $100. And next week, we have a challenge for our youth. We're going to ask our youth to show us some of their creativity and talent as they're home right now away from school. But it's all good stuff, seeing what's going on in our own city and what talent is out there. So it's fun.
Hey, Cece, thank you for everything you're doing to make a difference in our community and the world. We appreciate you passing it on. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.